Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thank you so much for joining me. I am Pamela, and here we are in episode season 2, episode 4 of Stunts, Shows, and Shenanigans, where we review the week's news and see which one has been a stunt, which has been a show, or which one is pure shenanigans. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button and share this video if you care. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell everybody who's over out there that you know that I'm over here making this video. And this is my weekly show, Stunt Shows and Shenanigans, which premieres always Sundays between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. 7 p.m. Excuse me. All right, people. So what we're going to do today, as you see, we are pre-recorded because life be lifing. Um, I wanted to go over a couple of things that were going on during the week that tickled my fancy. This is not going to be a very long show, but it will be as an informative one. And again, please hit that like button. So let's get into my first story here. It's a lot. It been really a slow news week, but it's been meaty. You know, I can get a little good meat off these stories. All right, so what's the first story that we want to go over today? We want to go over U.S. gymnast Jordan Childs to lose her Olympic bronze after court ruling. So, who is Jordan Childs? She was one of the two Americans that in the gymnast world, along with Simone Biles, and the other team is Suni Lee. She, I think it was the all-around competition. Oh, in the floor final, excuse me. She got bronze in the floor final. So let's read this article written by, looks like the Associated Press. It's in the Guardian, but it's not telling me who wrote the article. You know how I love to cite my sources, but they got their information from the Association Press, and I wish they would just give that person who wrote it their flowers. So, U.S. gymnast Jordan Childs to lose Olympic bronze after court ruling. The CAS voids inquiry that elevated Childs to the podium. So apparently, when she did her floor exercise, people on her team went and they asked the judges about the score or something like that. And once they did that, you know, they went back, I guess, went back and they added the scores and it made her score higher. So the Romanians protested because they believed that Anna Barbuso was the one that won. So they went and they challenged the challenge. And they're saying that the U.S. Team that made the challenge, they challenged the challenge 4 seconds too late. So they have like a minute to challenge. And I think they took a minute and 4 seconds to make the challenge. So it got overturned. So that means that Romania's Anna Barbosu is now awarded the bronze medal. Now, let's continue to read. The Court of Arbitration for Sports voided the inquiry that led to Olympic bronze on the floor for American gymnast Jordan Childs, opening the door for Romania's Anna Barbusu to place Childs as the bronze medalist. CAS rules on Saturday that the appeal by the U.S. coach Cecile Landy to have zero point 0.1 added to Child's score that vaulted her from fifth to third came outside of the 1 minute window allowed by the International Gymnast Federation. Cass wrote in the decision that the initial finishing order should be restored with Barboso third, teammate Sabrina whatever fourth, and Child's fifth. The organization added that the FIG should determine the final ranking in accordance with the above decision. Barbuso and I'm not going to try to butcher her name, were left outside the medals on the floor final in Paris after finishing with matching scores of 13,000. Barbuso thought she had won bronze over Mencia Voinia via a tiebreaker, a higher execution score, and began celebrating with the Romanian flag. Childs was the last athlete to compete and initially was given a score of 13.666 that put her in fifth place, right behind those two. Landy called for an inquiry on her score, and after review, the judges built his total score by 0.0. That was enough to leapfrog those two other young ladies for the last spot on the podium. U.S. gymnast said in a statement that is devastated by the ruling. The inquiry into the difficulty of Jordan's floor exercise routine was filed in good faith, and we believed in accordance with the FIG's rules to ensure an accurate scoring. So basically she has lost out. They waited 4 seconds too late to appeal the ruling. So it's unclear. Well, by the scores, she does not have the bronze. It's unclear if they're going to have another ceremony or anything like that, or she has to give it back. I'm not really clear about those things, but it is looking that she is actually fifth instead of third, so she's going to have to give that medal back. What are y'all thoughts on that? Child, it's just a lot of stunt shows and shenanigans. And have y'all been following the Olympics? You know, I did my whole show last week about the Olympics, but there's been a lot of different things that have happened since then. Y'all, shout out to the U.S. women's track team. They are out here doing it in the 4x4s, in the hundreds, and all of this stuff. Shakari has racked up golds. That 4x4 team has racked up golds. The hurdling team has racked up golds. It Oh, and shout out to the U.S. Soccer team. They racked up goals, along with the basketball team has racked up gold. But y'all, have y'all been watching that breakdancing, the women's competition of the breakdancing? Child of miss. And I guess just being American, it's always interesting to me how something that spewed out of the Bronx, and it was something that started with Black and Hispanic and culture. Uh, coming out of the Bronx, and you would think that the Americans would have topped all that. But what's interesting about that is that where it comes from, and that's that thing. And I need for y'all to understand. And I don't mean no harm when I say it, but I do want y'all to understand. This is what happens when you invite too many people to the cookout. People come in and they take plates, and they will take your plate and share your plate and tell everybody that they're the ones that created the plate, because now they put little rules and names on certain things. So now you have all these people all over the world believing that they are the people, the arbiters of that stuff. And then you have all these people running around here believing that Black Americans, uh Hispanic Americans, and all people don't have any culture running around here, when all you see is what's going on within our culture. Oh, y'all didn't do that. Because I am hearing, I know that we were talking, a few people that I know, we were talking about hip hop and all this other stuff. And there is this suggestion that Jamaicans are saying that they're the ones that created it in Jamaica. And I was like, no, I think Kool Herc was Jamaican. And I know he did the little scratching and all of that stuff on there. But the rap style and rapping has been going on forever. I remember, you remember Nipsey Hussle, God rest his soul. But he got his name set from Nipsey Russell, who was a comedian. The rap stylings that I see, that a lot of the art form that I see a lot of us that are working on today, I remember that being something that comedians did. I remember, if you remember watching the Flip Wilson show way back in the day. So you got to be my age and older to remember Flip Wilson. They did all of that back there. Moms Mabley and all of them were doing rap styles and rapping and all kinds of talking and job talking and stuff like that way, way back in the day. So I'm not saying that people can't influence and do anything of culture, but I know that clearly is a Black American culture. Style of form that comes out of Black American culture. So, and again, like I said, I'll be blue in the face, but it is so very, very clear that we as Black Americans, we do have a culture. We see people take from the culture and then want to say that they want to claim it, because we are too free, in my opinion, sharing the culture and allowing people to have seats at the table, when if the tables were turned, they would not allow for us to do that. We are too much of a culture that wants you to join in, and we will celebrate you. But please understand, around the world, we are not celebrated. So I think it's high time to not to stay in your feelings about it, but just to be able, just to understand that people do not understand your culture. People don't want to share your culture. People will tell you that you don't have a culture. People will try to throw in your face, oh, well, you don't know where you come from on the continent of Africa, acting so obtuse without understanding it, because they do understand and know about the transatlantic slave trade. And if you're from the Caribbean and you are espousing that same kind of nonsense, baby, the only difference between you and me is where the boat landed. That's all. That's all. That's all. So when you get to your your other brethren from the continent trying to talk to you and tell you, oh well, you matter because you're Jamaican, and you matter because you're Haitian, and you matter because you're Brazilian, and you matter because you're Saint Lucian, and you matter because you're Dominican, and you matter because you're from Dominica, and you matter because you're from Anguilla, and you matter because you're from the Bahamas, and you matter because you're from Puerto Rico. But then when you start talking about Black Americans that live on the continent, live in the United States of America, well, you don't matter because of the fact that you don't know where you come from. But you can ask any Jamaican and any of those other people down there, they don't know where their people came from. But anyway, I just said all of that to say, have y'all been watching the breakdancing proponent? Now I did see that the men's competition looked so much better than the women's competition. But again, these are the Olympics. Let's continue. So, thoughts and prayers goes out to Jordan Childs. Her team did what they thought they could do. They just didn't do it within the 4 seconds that they were supposed to have done it. Let's continue. Let's get into this next story. Sure. I did a little short on this story, but I'm just going to go into detail about what's going on about this right here. Was anybody surprised about this? Were you all surprised that the Fugees were not going to go on tour? Were you surprised now? According to this article in Variety, written by Chris Willem, Lauryn Hill says the U.S. tour was called off due to low ticket sales, which she attributes to the media sensationalizing her canceled shows last year. No, we won't even read this BS of the article. Not to say that the person that wrote this article is BS, but we're not going to read this simply because of this. Lauryn Hill must think we crazy. She really must think we are crazy. It doesn't have anything about the media sensationalizing anything. The media showed what was happening, and what was happening. Lauryn Hill had a concert, and Lauryn Hill would not show up. Now, I do remember she had one over here in Atlanta, and she had those people out there waiting because apparently the facility or wherever that they were having this particular concert, you had to vacate the premises by 11 p.m. She was supposed to start at 8. Do you know what time she got there? She got there at 10:30 and then proceeded, because you couldn't get your money back at that point, because she got on stage and she proceeded to do a 15-minute medley of all of her songs. Because remember, I just told you they had to be leaving the facility at 11 o'clock because they were shutting it down. So she gets up there at 10:30. She does a 15-minute medley of her things, and then she walks off the stage. So whatever amount of money that those people paid for, they only got a 30-minute. They got less than a 2-hour concert. They didn't get their money's worth. Then you had her go to a show. I think it was up in New York, where she didn't show up to again. She did the same thing, and she started doing that. That started to be her MO. Because I guess she figured, hey, I'm giving them the concert. It may not be what they asked for or what they wanted, but this is the concert that I'm giving them. And so she started doing that, and people started getting pissed off. And then you had incidents where she was canceling. And then when you confronted her about it, oh, well, you all are being ungrateful. You know, I got to get my chakras right and all this other stuff. Don't nobody care nothing about your chakras, Lauryn Hill. Those people, you are in a service industry. You have a talent. You're going to showcase your talent. So that is a service. These people don't have to pay for these tickets. And for you to take your fans, or you seeming that you are in such a place, and maybe that's our fault as your fans, you have been elevated to a place where you believe that you are in this pantheon, that no one can say nothing to you about your behaviors as far as your business acumen when it comes to holding concert. And nobody's questioning your talent. It's your business methods. You do not show up. And so now you have brought that stain, that stench with you, talking about this Fuji uh reunion concert. You got Prize over here. I don't know if he's about to go to jail or he's getting ready. He's about to go to jail or he just came out of jail. I'm not really sure what's going on with his legal situation, but I knew that he was at one point he was convicted of a federal crime. So maybe he's gone in and gone out. But you have that to contend with. But yeah, it's mostly you, my love, beloved. And no one is going to spend their hard earned money or thinking or wishing or wanting you to show up. Excuse me. So, what do y'all think about that? Are y'all sad that the Fuji's concert didn't show up? I'm quite sure it would have been a full blast because the Fuji's had hits. Lauryn Hill had hits. So it would have been a great concert, 2.5 hour, 3 hour concert. It would have been great. And they would have added some people who were like minded like them. Oh, I'm quite sure that would have been a great concert. What do y'all think about that? And in my last story, we are going to go over just some highlights of what's happening at the D3, the Disney D23 event that's happening in Anaheim, California. So I'm going to I'm going to go over this article, and that's going to be the show. All right, so let's get into it. This is from the Hollywood Reporter and is written by Aaron Couch and Alex Wiepren and Boris Kitt. All right. So this was done on the 9th of August. This was a couple of days ago. So it may have updated, but we're just going to go over here. Disney unveils latest from Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilms at Star Pack D23 panel. Stars such as Dwayne Johnson, Lin-Manuel Miranda helped introduce trailers for Mufasa the Lion King, Snow White, Moana, and while cheesing James Cameron Avatar 3. I don't know what spins. I don't do. We're gonna read on, but this is not giving me any type of feels. Uh, how much we gonna learn about Mufasa? Mufasa. Okay, okay. So this is gonna be talking about Mufasa when he was a young lion cub and how he became king. That may be interesting. Avatar. It took James Cameron 9,852 years to bring me the second one. And by that time, I had lost complete interest. Is he going to take 9,582 years to bring us Avatar 3? Because the first one was decent. It was just long. I did not watch Ways of the Water. I think that's what it was called, because it just took so long and I just became uninterested in it. If it comes up on my feed for me to watch, or when I look at it, I may take a look at it, but that was just something that just, I'm just one of those people. I can't wait more than 2.5, 3, 4 years for something like that. After that, I have just lost complete interest and I probably have moved on to something else. So we see that Moana is getting a second season. I like the first one. I thought it was I think I like the music more so. I don't know about I will honestly tell you, I cannot remember the whole thing. I remember she went out into the water. Her people decided to stay in one area, but they were used to being people that sailed across the waters. She went ahead and she did all of that. She had that urge and things like that. I do remember it was something like that, but it was a pretty good show. Let's see. Bob Iger got a rock star worthy welcome Friday night as roughly 12,000 screaming fans gave the Disney CEO a standing ovation as he kicked off a supersized panel at D23. Let's see what they've got coming out. So here's one of Mufasa the Lion King. Filmmaker Barry Jenkins welcomes Lin-Manuel Miranda to his very first D23, with the songwriter debuting new songs from Mufasa the Lion King. They then unveiled the trailer, which I see here, and we will not play. But if you want to go to the Hollywood Reporter, they do have it here in their little article. So there is a trailer for the Mufasa movie that's coming up. We have Tron airs. Jared Leto, Evan Peters, and Greta Lee. Disney showed off mind-bending footage from the threequel of Tron. Okay. Uh I don't know. Tron, because the original Tron happened back in like the 80s and then they rebooted it. So now we have this particular thing. Is it good, y'all? Because like the very first Tron, when I watched the very first Tron, I didn't like it at all. I have not watched the rebooted. So is it good, y'all? Are y'all something that y'all are running out? And here they do. They're going to show you the laser show. We are not going to go over that. So then we have Snow White. Snow White whistled while she worked at the D23 where the first trailer was revealed. And unlike some recent movies which have hidden their musical pedigree in trailers, this one embraced the fact that it is a musical. So we're going to have a musical of Snow White. Are y'all ready for that? Freakier Friday. That's Freaky. So Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are going to uh come back and reprise their roles in Freaky Friday. So it's going to be Freakier Friday. Interesting. That's probably going to hit. They have I guess Disney is starting to realize that the Generation Alpha is an untapped resource. So they're going to I guess imbue them with the classics that their parents have grown up on. So that's going to be interesting, and I do hope that they do gear shows and things like that to Gen Alpha. I think that this is high time that they should be able to have stuff that is pretty much geared to them being that generation that knows only digital media, digital IPs, and things like that. So I would be interested to see what they have geared toward that particular generation. David Blaine's Do Not Attempt. The Magician has a new show coming on National Geographic. That's cool. We got Agatha All Along. Katherine Hine has led the cast in a musical number while she was on the show, which stars a with stars such as Aubrey Plaza joining in before unveiling a new trailer for the Marvel Studios. And I believe this is going to be on Disney Plus. And let me go back because I think, let me see. That's going to be on Disney Plus. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is going to be in theaters. I believe this Tron show is going to be in theaters. This is going to be Mufasa is going to be in theaters. So that's the Gen Alpha crew. Uh okay. All right. Because they've been teasing Agatha all along for what? Since the pandemic, a little bit right after the pandemic. And so it was like 2022 when we thought everything was gonna 2022, 2023, and then we had the writer strike, and then we had the actor strike. So this is something that's coming out of that. We've got Daredevil Born Again, Marvel Studios. So this is going to be, looks like it's going to be a Disney Plus series. We have Ironheart, Black Panther for Wakanda Forever. Filmmaker Ryan Coogler took the stage to talk about the Marvel show centering on Riri Williams, who first debuted in his 2022 movie. The character is a genius at MIT who builds her own Iron Man suit. We did see her in Wakanda Forever. Okay, and that's going to come out as a Disney Plus series as well. We've got Fantastic Four and Captain America Made New World. Those are going to be movies that are coming out, which is going to be interesting because Captain America Brave New World has been filming and reshoots and reshoots, I know, for the last 3 or 4 years. So it's going to be interesting for that to finally come out. Fantastic Four, I've seen some footage of that. We'll see. We'll see how it's going to work. Ryan Reynolds shows gratitude and takes a jab at Marvel. The Mandalorian and Grogu. I am looking forward to see that movie. Andor is coming out for season 2. Looking forward to that. I though it moves slow for me, I did appreciate Andor. Uh Mandalorian, Grogu. I hope that they have Grogu's age and Grogu cognitive skills have gotten a little bit further so that we can see him in action and using his abilities, because Grogu is a Mandalorian. I know people want to be like Grogu is a Jedi. Grogu is a Mandalorian. He is training as a Mandalorian who happens to be force sensitive. He is a force sensitive Mandalorian. Let's get this clear and straightened out. So I would love to make sure to see that Grogu has he is using his powers and things like that, and that Din Djarin is excuse me, Din Grogu is being trained by Din Djarin so that he can use these powers so that they can be the best bounty hunters that they can be. I look forward to that. I think that Dave Favreau, has taken this, using this time period that the sequels have boxed us into it. And I think that they're doing such a great job of giving us a world of Star Wars that is so much vast besides that little segment that they put us in it with the sequels. I really wish they can do like they've done Legends, Star Wars Legends, and not make the sequels. They can do that. They can definitely do that. They can make those sequels non-canon and start from here and go out. They can open just like they rearranged some of the stuff when the original trilogy, and they made them episode 4, 5, and 6. They can definitely take these and say that these are they can what's that young man's name? Han Solo's son. They can have him wake up from a very bad dream, and he's sitting up there with Luke Skywalker, and they're still at the school. Miss. Let me move on. Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew. Again, this seems like it's going to be fun. We'd love to watch that. It seems like Star Wars is pulling, and people were like, well, we don't want the Skywalker saga. They're pulling out from the Skywalker saga and all that stuff. To me, that's fine, but don't disrespect it. If you're gonna pull out of the Star Wars saga, don't disrespect it. You know what I mean? I just find issues in that. Don't disrespect it. The Skywalker saga is how we knew about Star Wars, so don't disrespect it. But you can tell other stories, and I really wish that they would tell stories about Luke Skywalker right after the empire had fallen and the stuff that he was doing before he started to do this school. Let's talk about the stuff that he was doing as a Jedi, as the best Jedi master. Let's see what he was doing out there. Let's see what's going on out in the universe with some force sensitive folks. What are those force sensitive folks are doing? Because there is no Jedi Academy anymore. So why not see what's going on with force sensitive people out in the universe and what have you? So let's continue. That's Skeleton Crew. We got Frozen 3 that we see coming up under here, Zootopia, The Incredibles. All of these sound like pretty much remakes. I'm not seeing anything but like the Skeleton Crew and the Grogu Mandalorian movie and the Mufasa series. That's pretty much Agatha. It was Agatha all along. We've got Hopper. We've got Toy Story 5. We've got Inside Out, a TV spinoff. Absolutely, positively no. Absolutely, positively no. And let me just tell you that, because there's nothing worse that you can do. You've seen this with any of these things. You have a movie, you have a series that is great as a movie, and then you want to do a TV spinoff because you want those people to come back. It is best to take whatever this story that you have for Inside Out, and this is my opinion, and make it into a third movie. Avatar Fire and Ash, for you Avatar folks, we're going to get another third Avatar film. I hope it comes out within the next year and a half or so, because to wait 3, 4, 5 years is not the business. We've got Monster Jam that's supposed to be coming out. This is a project with Dwayne Johnson. Moana 2, another project with Dwayne Johnson. And what else do we have? I think that's it. So that's what's coming out of D23. Did you all see any of the promos, the trailers, or anything that came out of D23? Did y'all see any of that? Were y'all impressed by anything that you saw? Let me know down in the comments. Again, thank you all so much for joining me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you cannot stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people,